3 hours this afternoon. So everything is hunky-dory, and I hope you guys are hearing me okay, because I had to reconfigure my antenna system here. It's not as optimum as it once was. A neighbor had cut down a series of trees, and I stole her tree. Long story, but it's not as good as it used to be, orientation-wise, and height above ground, the whole bit. So hopefully you guys are hearing me okay. WX2T.
Yeah, I'm hearing all of you. Great.
Yeah, sound fine down, both of you guys.
Okay. I wish I could have done like an A/B test, but it's tough on this band this time of the year too. Signal strengths, and especially with the solar anomalies that we've had literally all summer, have impeded the effort to try to, give somebody a decent or a veritable signal report, not only signal strength wise, but audio wise. And
slept for 3 hours.
It's been tough.
Carry on, gentlemen. I just got to take care of something. I'll be back in a couple into WH.
All right. Yeah. Well, good to hear everybody. I know it's been a long time. Months. I think maybe last winter, February, maybe. So, yeah, Rick. Yeah. Well, we're a little early. Gray line. I don't know. I just saw it. Where was it? Let me pull up the gray line is still not on the East Coast yet. So this is a little, depending on where everybody is. I've been listening for a little bit, and boy, Norm I could copy him no problem, but he was way down. So he must be right in that range, where just because he's usually really strong in here. So it must be a little early. Well, the wife's got some black bean soup going on the stove, so I figured I'd come down here. I've been listening for, I don't know, half hour or so. But what have you been up to? How's your summer? Go ahead, K1GMM.
Yeah, K1GMM WX2T. Stand by one sec. Yeah, it's just going by way too quick. Holy cow! This weekend, it's Labor Day weekend. Can you believe it, man?
I know, right? I don't even remember. I mean, all the things. I hope you didn't have a summer like I had. All the things I wanted to do, I didn't get to do. Of course, it's been just brutally hot up here. Humid. The bugs outside. I just, I was like, screw this. It's been horrible, Rick. I know it's been pretty warm down south there. I can't remember. Oh, yeah, you're in Rhode Island. Oh, yeah, I bet it was pretty warm down there, or?
July was rough. July was really tough. We had a high energy bill, with the air conditioning and everything. It's abated. It abated, I should say, a little bit progressively through August. And, our bedroom is on the second floor, and it faces north on the bay here. So we don't really get any kind of a breeze. If there is any breeze, it's to the left and southwest of us, where the bedroom is, and that's coming up Narragansett Bay, and that's where you get more wind. So at night we have to turn the air conditioning on. Plus we're upstairs, and the hot air rises during the day. So it's a game. But my electric bill, which we just got recently a couple of days ago, which was predominantly, I guess, for most of July, was like over $400. That's with two split system air conditioning. I don't have central, so I don't know if that's good or bad. But anyhow, we're able to deal with it, and this is what happens. You expect it, and so we'll see what happens. I'm not worried about this as so much. What I'm worried about is the political climate. Over.
Oh yeah, dude, it's a freaking crap show. It is just getting started, baby. We ain't seen nothing yet. What's that song? Who did that song? Ain't seen nothing yet. Oh yeah. I think October. We're coming into the kill box in October. The wheels are going to come off the wagon there. Over.
Yeah. Stand by 1 second. Okay, Steve. Man, look at your QRZ page. Wow, funky WX2T. Man, the QRZ page is funky, man.
Whose?
Yours, man.
Oh, I stripped it. I stripped it down like right out of a stripper's club. Had all kinds of crap on there. I gutted it months ago and just threw some crap on. People get mad, Rick. I get mad when people don't have anything on their QRZ page, because I'll pull up their QRZ page and I'll be like, oh, let's find out a little bit about this bloke, and there's nothing there. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like Richie. Richie's got nothing. I'm like, come on, dude.
Well, Richie should have something, and I should have something too. But and I'm remiss, and I'm lazy. I'm lazy about it. Hey,
Jose, what's up,
how is my signal strength? Let's not even talk about the audio, because I can't compare it to most of you guys with the audio. And this is an extreme profile from what you might have listened to me by last time. First of all, how's my signal strength?
Yeah, signal strength is equal to everybody else. Seemed like everybody was running 5 to 10 over. This loop is has tremendous ears. Constantly, I have people say, "Oh, I can't hear him. I can't hear that." I can hear everybody, no problem. I don't think it has that much teeth, but yeah, your signal's consistently 5 over, peaking 10 over, and I think in the next hour you're going to go to 20 over, no problem, because you're usually just pounding in here. So it's just the time. We're at that transition. We're coming into the transition, I think. So, yeah, sounds good, Rick. Everything. I don't know if I'd mess with anything, to be honest with you. I know you're not looking for. I'm not going to give you an audio report. I try not to do that anymore. I don't really care, as long as I can understand you. I heard you guys talking earlier, and I've shifted my way of thinking. Now I'm on 4K right now, and I could barely hear Norm. So if I jumped in an hour, like let's say a half hour ago or 45 minutes ago, I would not be on this profile. I'd be on the DX profile. And the DX profile is from 140 hertz to 3 kilohertz. And everything below 140 kilohertz is rolled off. it's gone. It's not there because the bottom end sucks. If you got sharp QSB and you got a lot of up and down in the band, a lot of instability, this profile is not going to help. You know what I'm saying? Norm would probably be like, yeah, I know you're in there, but I can't even understand you. Over.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And that was that was what I was trying to impart before, and we had a little, there's varying opinions and disagreements and everything about this, but it really is. You're exactly right. It's all dependent upon the distance between the two stations.
There's a lot of crashing and banging. We got a lot of thunderstorms up here.
What are you running?
Southeast of me right now.
How are you running it? Are you on parametric? Are you on P-parametric processing, using processing or whatever? And it's there's so many different parameters. And
another
you got
Jose,
the Anon guys.
Doing?
Anyhow.
Oh, the Mexican. How you doing?
As long as everybody can get along, that's the main thing.
Things going in Mexico.
Okay, I'm going to get out of here. I've got dinner, Steve. So it's good to hear you. You sound great as usual, and whatever the hell you're doing, it's wonderful. It really is. K1GMM WX2T. Listen out.
I'm back, KB1B. Yeah.
Oh, there's the master blaster from Boston. I think that's who it is. Hey, put it over to you. You can sign with Rick. Rick, nice to hear you. Nice to catch up again. It's too bad you got to go, but food trumps all. And the trumps is the key word, right? We all know what that's all about. We'll see you later, Rick. Have a good evening. Hopefully catch you soon. BEM, all yours, buddy.
Underline Trump.
Exactly.
Okay, Ricky, enjoy your dinner this evening, and I'll come and look for you tomorrow evening. Okay, Rick?
Okay, man. Yeah. Keep the faith, and hopefully, Montserrat. We got a tough month coming up down there with hurricanes. Hopefully, they won't be impacted
California?
by any hurricanes.
XE2
730 WX2T. Going that way.
All right, send the cheese. Hey, Steve, good evening. Long time no hear from KB1B.
Yeah, how's it going, man? I don't know who else is in there, so when I drop it, anybody else grab it. I know there were a few people in here, but they kind of disappeared, and it's probably my fault. So, yeah, what have you been up to? Boy, you sound really good, dude. What are you running? What's your microphone? That's the best I've ever heard you sound. I know it's been a while, probably, I don't know, a few months maybe or something like that. But, yeah, you got it going on, man. How's it going?
Yeah, everything's good. Oh, we got the HD3GD is in there, so maybe you might could hear him. So when I drop the mic, you can say good afternoon to him. So yeah, we're running this afternoon the electric voice RE 220, and then I changed the preamplifier from the mic 2200 to the DBX 286, and then I bought a DBX 131S. That one thing, and then I finally make up my mind and put the 2496 in line. I finally take it down. I was scared to do it, man. So I said, man, I'm gonna put that shit in line, and it is what it is. And then I got the exciter, and then the virtualizer to give me that little, Yeah, man. I watch your videos long enough, man. So at least I'm getting there. There you go.
Evening K1GMM, KB1BEM. This is AC3GD.
There he is. Nice and strong now. Yeah, it was a little bit of a stretch. I was listening earlier, Norm. Good evening. Hope all is well down there. Thanks for the email, and thanks for the correspondence and reaching out. Appreciate it, brother. Yeah, boy, you sound great. Norm, you're strong now. You were right. You were kind of down in the mud earlier, but yeah, we're getting closer. Things are getting better. So probably in the next hour, you're going to be 20, 25 over in here as usual. So yeah, BEM, man. Nice. You sound great. I don't know if I know it's a rabbit hole and you never stop farting around with things, but I pray that at some point you will get to a point where you go, I'm happy with this. I don't touch my crap. I haven't touched this in almost, well, I shouldn't say that. I put the rack back in line because I just couldn't get the same sound that I was looking for out of the virtual stuff, out of the DAW. So I've got all the rack back in line now, and that's where it's going to stay. I just couldn't get that, get what I was looking for, so yeah, keep doing what you're doing. Sounds great. Go ahead, Norm. What's going on? How you been? K1GMM.
Well, I am living. Still working, mowing the lawn. But you know what? It's as you said, it is getting to the point. I bet you by the third week in October.
What's up,
right
Andy?
now, I'm listening to everybody direct. And that's a big thing because 75 meters in August is not user-friendly, usually. It usually doesn't get good until, I'd have to say third week in October. And when I mean good, I mean +9 signals. Mm-hmm. And it lasts until April. And then by the beginning of May, things start going south. But you do what you can do. Well, Steve, your antenna, I think the last time that I corresponded with you, your antenna wasn't 100%, and yet I'm looking at your signal and your audio. You sound great. Eddie, I know you're in there. Just hang on a second. K1GMM AC3GD.
Yeah, I didn't, K1GMM, I didn't elaborate too much, Eddie. I'm sorry, Norm. Sorry, Ed. But yeah, I suffered all that damage, and I had two element arrays up on 40 and 20. Those are all gone. They had moving parts on them, relays, stuff like that. So I pulled those down. This antenna is the same, except I have it configured as a multi-bander. It's just got a 4-to-1 direct feed, and that gives me 17 meters. So I use this primarily on 80 meters, 20 meters for stateside here. Works great on 20. It's an 80 meter, well, it's kind of a random wire full wave loop because it's not really resonant anywhere. It's big. Problem is it's tuned very low on this band, so the return loss and all the figures are way out of whack once I get up here around 854. But this is the first time I've been up here since I redid this antenna into a multibander, which I'm not a big fan of multiband antennas. I know they work great. I had a ZS6 BKW up for a while, but it was crap on 80. So this one's up. It's been up. I never took it down. And I just took the matching section off, and I'm feeding it with a 4-to-1. So I use this on 2017, and I think 10. I think it beats the other one. So I have a little mini BKW up. It's a miniature ZS6 BKW, which is 11.9 feet per leg, 39.1 feet on 450. Direct feed with a choke, and that's a cracker jack on 15 and 12. So I use that for 15 and 12 meters. And the 40 meter loop, I have a monoband, so I'm off the 2-element 40 meter loops now. 40 meters, I have a single 40 meter loop, no moving parts, very easy to maintain. And that sucker is up there, dude. It's like 90 feet. And that's a freaking killer. That thing works really good. And for 20 meters, I have a Moxon rectangle I pulled up in place of the 2-element loops on 20, which were enormous, as you can imagine, with some consistent amount of maintenance. And so I have that up there, and that's pointed at 53 degrees towards Europe. So I use that for Europe for DXing, and I use this antenna for 20 meters for stateside. So that's kind of a picture, if you can make sense out of that freaking nonsense. And I have, when you get older, I'm going to be 60 in October. My ass is sagging. I got old man ass, Norm. It's sagging and it's all bony, and the chair I'm in is all broken down. So I got a nice gel pad on the chair, and now I can sit here for hours, dude, and I don't have any sciatica or any pain or anything. TMI, too much information. AC3GD, K1GMM, and then toss it over to Eddie.
Yeah, well, you just wait until you get the old man balls. KB1BEM, Eddie, save us. Pick it up.
Very fine there, Norm. No problem at all. Yep. But you're coming in there, Norm. Let me turn it back to you real quick. Could you hear me? You hearing me there, Norm?
Oh, yes, I hear you. I'm hearing you direct, Eddie. Go ahead. AC3GD with KB1BEM.
Okay, very fine. Yeah, you're coming up here real nice. It's as it get darker, man, you're coming up there, so no problem.
Hello.
All right, let me just turn it to Steve real quick, and then I'll turn it around quick. Yes, Steve, man. Both of us born the same year, man. I'm on number 16, the 3rd of September this year, man. So both of us born in 64 years ago.
Hey, you're a brother from another mother.
Yep, the 3rd of September is gonna make me 60, man. So both of us is gonna jump in there this year. There you go.
Yeah, I hope you're not as big of a train wreck as I am there, Eddie. I swear to God, the past 4 years, everything's fallen apart. I got pieces falling off of me.
Yeah, that's what happens sometimes. If I go down on my knees and coming up, man, I have to be careful, man. I don't want them to break out there. So no problem. All right, K1GMM, I'll turn it back to you, and I'll let you swing it back down to AC3GD. But you're sounding good there, Steve, man. You're sounding good there, Steve, man. I went in my, I used to like, if I'm watching something, I save it. So I was like erasing some of them because the thing is too full. And then one of your videos was in there, man. So when I want it, I don't have to go search for it on YouTube. I go in my favorites and just click on it, man. And that's what I used to do at nights when I'm up, man. Listening to your videos and looking at your raps and all those good stuff, man. K1GMM, KB1BEM.
Well, you got more stuff than I have, for crying out loud. I'm streaming this. I always stream this when I'm on here because you never know what's going to happen. So, yeah. You can go back in and check it out. Check things out and see what's going on. And you'll hear your audio. Now, oh gosh, what is this? The RxDAP system is running. It's not raw. But it doesn't, there's no artifacts. So that's pretty much the way you sound, except the noise is almost non-existent. We do have a lot of crashing going on. So you hear a little bit of snap, crackle, pop here and there, but it's very subdued. So if you want to hear your audio, you'll see it on there. It's live right now, and it'll be fully rendered to HD probably sometime tonight. Anyways, there was a breaking station. Good evening, K1GMM. Hola.
Yeah, NP2G. Hello. What's cooking?
What's going on there, mister?
Yeah, I'm running QRP right here,
QRP? You mean you're only doing a kilowatt instead of 3?
Yeah, it's under 1,000 watts, so it has to be QRP.
Life's too short for QRP. You know that, right?
Oh, God, yeah, absolutely.
Norm in there. Are you there, Norm?
Roger, Eddie. Yep. Yeah, when I heard Steve, he's got a very distinctive voice, and Eddie's in there too. And it's kind of like old times all at once. Over to you, Ed, AC3GD.
Oh, absolutely. It's the oldie but moldy station tonight. I don't know who else gets it, but go get it.
It's the fossil crew. We've, Jesus, sounds like we're all fossilized. Well, I'll speak for myself only.
Hey, is Mr. Ed in there?
Yes, sir. Good evening from KB1B.
Good evening, Ed, from Ed. Have a good one.
Yeah, you're sounding good, man. And I still got those. I changed the new feed, so I have to go back in there and put back in those settings that you gave to me, man. Everybody said it sounds good. I don't tell everybody my business there, Ed, man. I just go in there and just set them back in the CFC tools like how you send them to me. There you go.
Well, I think you should make them yours. You know, let's twist here, twist there.
Yeah, man, that's how we have to do tweak here. I like K1GMM say go down that rabbit hole there. All right. All right, back to the Ed, and then you could turn it up to K1GMM, KB1BM.
Hey, I was going to mention Eddie. And Ed, boy, I hope all is well. It's been a while, I know. A long time since I've chatted with you, but nice to hear you. Great signal as always whenever I hear you. Eddie, BM, yeah, you've got some really nice top end in there. So if there was some sharp QSB, or there was like an S9 plus 10 of static crashing, it's no problem. You'd be ripping right over the top of that. So you're on the right track, dude. I'm telling you. I hear a lot of stations that have great bottom end, but there's no top end. And the top end is what produces clarity. It's what makes your signal copyable. So yeah, it sounds really good, dude. I'm serious. When you hear it, I think you'll be really happy. But I could hear you if you were right at the noise floor. No problem. I can understand everything you're saying. Over.
Probably that's why they had a pilot. They had a pilot there. The station from Kuwait was coming in, man, and everybody was like, wow. I said, KB1BM, and the guy over in Kuwait says, who's the KB1BM? But I felt so good, I just jump over everybody, man. So I guess, man, no, I'm trying, man. I'm trying there. So thanks, there. I'm going to listen to it when I get done from here, going there, and I listen on my headphones with my laptop there. So no problem. K1GMM, thanks, man. KB1BM, back to you.
Yeah, no. Take it for what it's worth, grain of salt. It's just me, dude. But I played a lot with this crap, but it doesn't mean anything. It's so subjective. It just depends on what you're going for. You know what I mean? Anyways, go ahead. Let's put it back to Norm. And I'm not the ringleader, so you guys carry on. K1GMM.
I'm going to tell you what, an interesting thing, in about 30 seconds, I had to reduce the sensitivity of my scope because, Steve, you're now almost 20 over. Eddie, you're 10 over. Amazing. I'm going to tell you what, it happens that quick. All right. This is AC3GD, Old Norman from McElhatton, Pennsylvania. And I'm going to hand it over to my friend Ed, NP2G, and let's see what you've got to see.
I'm having too much fun here. That's all I can tell you. I'm on my Anon tonight, and what I did, I just jacked up the drive output to, like 100 watts. So now I'm running a Yaesu. Oh my God, there we go. Just having a good time. Yeah, I have been on, but I've been on in CW. So just having a good time with the Yaesu 7 and it really is extremely well on that mode. So that's what I've been doing with it. And then Norm tortured me, and I tortured him. We went and ran a little bit of a complication there on the audio on the PPs and the EO1s, 2s, and 3s. And, we came to a mutual agreement. There we go. That sounds pretty good. So I had to copy that here in the Anon. There you go. So, again, I have no idea. I'm just going to throw it out there. Somebody grab it.
Yeah, 25 over, 10 dB increase. So things are shifting around. It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, you're freaking. That's the way I usually hear you, Ed. What? Just really quick. Let me make sure I got it. Yeah. How was your summer? What'd you end up doing this summer? You take any trips? You do anything fun? Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to Rehoboth Beach, and I'm going to take the trailer down there. I don't know if they'll let me park in the president's driveway so I can dump shit on it, but you never know. Maybe they'll let me.
Oh my God. I just cracked up big time. Yeah, you need to bring a trailer full of manure and dump it right there at the gate.
It's a gift because he keeps giving it to us, so why can't we give it back?
That's right, the gift that keeps on giving, baby. Under the bus he goes.
I loved it. I can't help it. That's the way it is. I have been known to do this before. Previously, I went to past the Hyannis complex, and of course, I would always empty my holding tank.
You pop. What do? You pop the valve as you're driving through?
Oh yeah, the big brown streak. Just for a gift.
Oh my God. I see that, Norm? Everything went sideways. The minute Ed jumped in here, it's all going, well, it's actually going in a good direction, but that's pretty funny.
Well, sometimes we have this effect. But I'm actually very satisfied with my efforts into getting better audio with this Yaesu. The Neumann U87 clone, which utilizes the cinematic transformer. It is an FET. It's not the tube model. It's the Warm Audio 87 R2. And I'm utilizing the WA12 Mark II. It is a analog only, and I am very pleased with the results. And not just opening up an area on my desk, because now I don't have that beautiful Yaesu M1 mic in the way, and I do love that mic. I want everyone to know, if you have a Yaesu radio and it's compatible with the M1, it will not disappoint you. But it took up too much real estate, so this is why I did what I did, and I kind of like it. Certainly my audio doesn't sound poor, which is something that I was after. What did I always say, Steve? Movie star quality sound. Okay, I'm going to turn it up to either Steve or Eddie, whichever one of you hasn't had it. I think KB1BEM has to say something. Go ahead, Eddie.
Okay, AC3GD, KB1BEM, man. You're sounding good, man. When I grow up, I want to be like you, man. Go over there and get what I need, figure out what I need, put it together, and sounding good, man. So that's a good thing, man. I can't believe that FD extend is pounding like that. And you're nice and strong now there, Norm, there, so no problem. So Norm, I'll turn it back to you, and then when you finish commenting, then you can turn it up to K1GMM. AC3GD, KB1BEM.
Yeah, go ahead, Norm.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I had an earbud that died, so I didn't hear everything Eddie had to say. Eddie, did you ask me a question?
No, I was just saying that it's nice that when you go out and pick up what you need to make yourself sound good, then you come home and do it and get good result out of it, man. So I was saying that FTDX 10 is pounding, man. And guess what? Your signal jump up to like 10 over, man. So now you're pounding there, girl.
Yes, in 30 seconds, my last transmission, when I said that, it's like everybody's signal came up. The QR Mary died from the local industry, and you guys are all sounding fit as a fiddle. AC3 GD with KB1 BEM.
Hey, you want to hear what you sound like, Norm? Mr. Norm, would you like to hear what you sound like?
Norman.
Oh, yes, I am waiting with bated breath.
Here we go.
Industry, and you guys are all
Come on, Norm.
fit as a fiddle.
Come into it.
CD with KB1 BEM.
There you go.
Hey, Norm. Hey. Hey, I don't have the email up, but what exactly were you picking up, or did you get it already? You got some equipment coming, right? Or do you have it in your possession? What exactly did you pick up there? I'm curious because I like hearing about what other people, I run just basic stuff. So there's nothing exotic about what I have here. Nothing. It's all cheap crap. Go ahead.
Okay, now you're going to hear a lot of background stuff, but warm audio equipment, a mic boom, the WA87R2, which is an FET model, and the warm audio Mark II Black, which is a single in, single out analog preamp, and certainly helps. And Eddie NP2RG allowed me a gift of this little pop filter, which fits right on. It's unobtrusive, works well. I had to readjust a lot of my P parametric on this Yaesu. But I think I'm right there at almost nirvana. Certainly, I sound a little bit better. But, we're always out to try to do something to the best of our ability in this hobby. And that's the best I can do. AC3 a GD back to K1 GMM.
Okay, I'm not familiar with the warm audio stuff, so I'm kind of out of the loop, Norm. I don't really track all of this stuff that's going on lately, so like what people are using, and for some reason, I don't know. Have you guys ever experienced, Eddie? I'll put it over to you, Eddie, BEM, quick. Eddie, any of the equipment that you use, right? I know you're running outboard gear, right? I just looked over. I looked at my ALC, and now it's too hot. So I try to keep it around 0 dB, just bumping 0, and it pops over to +1 once in a while. But I get like every time I light this crap up, I hit the button on the power strip, and as it settles, it takes a while for everything to settle in. It's been on for probably an hour and a half. Everything's warm. My hand on it. Oh yeah, everything's hot. She's nice and warm, so she's settled in. It variates. it's all over the freaking place. Every single time I light this crap up, this equipment, it produces the output changes that hits the card. You know what I mean? So I don't quite get it. I'm looking over. I got about minus 6 dB on the card at best. Audio. Yeah, just a little flicker there. So I was wondering if you guys see the same thing. If you see, like, with the outboard equipment, if you see the drive level variate day to day. It seems like every time I light this crap up, that's the only thing I noticed that's different as opposed to the virtual. If I'm running the DAW, it never variates. It's all the same. But this equipment, it's like when I light it up and it's in the process of warming up, or I don't know what the variables are, I always get different levels. So I have to adjust the input gain on the card as it hits the rig, to get it up to 0 dB. Sometimes it's super hot. Sometimes it's crap. It's like way down. It's like minus 10 dB. I don't get it. Go ahead, Eddie. I don't know if you've ever seen that before. KB1BEM, K1GMM.
Yeah, the only thing with me, right, on the Flex here, that the power button and the mic gain button is the same. So sometimes when I'm turning up when I'm tuning the radio and I turn on the power, it always tends to mess with the mic gain, and sometimes the guidance will tell me that I'm overdriving and stuff. And when I look up there, my hand accidentally touches it and it's all the way to the top. But I have no more problem with it real lately, with it jumping all over the place. So I pay attention now to when I'm turning up the power button now and again, because sometimes I just miss and turn it up and it go all crazy there, you know?
Okay, I didn't really hear anything or see anything, so I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Ed. I don't know how strong you're pretty strong in here, Eddie. Go ahead, Ed. Get your thoughts on this because you play with this stuff too. K1GMM.
Okay, NP2G. Well, I could attribute the changing input-output characteristics to mismatch of your audio inputs and outputs. I mean, my microphone is 150 ohms. The warm audio input is 600. Unless I push the tone button, then it goes to 150. You can hear the difference. So it goes crazy, and also the level changes. So I come out of that into out of the warm audio at 300 ohms. So I have a 300 to 600 ohm audio transformer that feeds it back into the UR22 digitizer. And since I've been doing that, it's very stable. I mean, I can see right now I'm running a 0 or +1, and it's always that way. And if I take out the transformer, the impedance goes crazy, just like your antenna, your 50 ohm antenna, and you get SWR. That's what happens. So that's what I see it as, and you may want to play around a little bit and try to match it up.
Yeah, okay. I think you're onto something there, because I run a 20 dB pad because of the impedance mismatch, and then that flows into a direct box. Can't remember. Which does help, because I'm not feeding this rig virtually. This is all analog, so I use a Heil cable, which is the same as a Yaesu cable, which feeds into the sun, and it helps tame the wild beast. Because, as you know, if you get that gross impedance mismatch, I mean, holy crap, dude, you can smoke that thing really easy. This equipment is not matched for the input of a ham radio transceiver, Roger?
Yeah, Roger. That's what you got to do. It's just like having a 50 ohm antenna without an antenna tuner. When your SWR goes anywhere from 1.0 to 1 to 4 to 1, it's the same idea. So you really got to watch that. That's what I've been playing with I started playing with this probably 4 years ago, and I put the transformer away because I just got bored with it. And, I decided I would redo it and, stick to it. And since I've gone 100 out of the mic, 150 out of the mic into the warm audio, 300 coming out with 300 into the cinematic transformer, 600 out, 600 into the UR22. Man, I'm Fat City.
Fat City. Go ahead, Norm.
He did help me spend some of my hard-earned money, but I'm kind of glad I did. It was kind of like a toy, but it's very useful. And I really hope my audio does sound decent. Certainly, I don't want it to sound poorly. AC3GD to K1GMM, and don't forget Eddie.
Yep, really brief. It sounds great, Norm. Go in and listen. You're going to have to kind of hop through the video because I'm streaming. It sounds really good. It's very smooth. I wouldn't call it flat. Flat is, that means different things to different people. But eventually, I think what you're going to end up going, because I'm trying to analyze your voice and see what kind of voice you have and see what kind of capability you're going to end up with, what the potential is there. So, of course, the rig, I'm not sure about. I think you're working with an FTDX10, right? So I don't know how much audio is passed below 100 hertz. I know, like the ICOMs, you can brute force them. I've proven that on my YouTube channel. You can pass audio on the ICOMs, even though they're technically brick walled at 100 hertz. They'll go way below that, like down to 40 hertz. So that's something. Eventually, you're going to have to kind of play with that. It sounds really good, Norm. Really clean, clear. It's warm, but it's not muddy. If you want it, I'm going to give it to you. And you can go in and hear it. So proof is in the pudding. I don't say anything that's bullcrap. That's why I record everything. So if you want to go in and hear it, hit my YouTube channel and you can go in and check it out. So anyways, go ahead, Eddie. KB1BEM, K1GMM.
Yes, sir, man. Everybody sounding good, man. As I just said, sometime when I grow up, I want to be like you guys did. So everybody sounds good. Yep. I'm doing something on the computer but I'm listening to everybody on the headphones. So what I'll do, I'll turn it around real quick. I'll send it down to Ed, and then to turn it back around until when I finish what I'm doing. But I'm listening to the conversation. NP2D, KB1BEM.
Okay, KB1BEM and a group NP2G returning. Very fine, Ed. And I usually I can't help myself. 2 Eds are better than one. Someday I'm going to get in trouble for doing that, but I can't help myself. You ought to try that with the matching, devices on the audio. It's old school, and it may make you very happy. Like I said, I have no problem whatsoever anymore. Some of the nuances that you do get out of it is that EQ is much easier than it ever has before because it's the correct impedance. And what happens with, if you read about, an impedance matching audio system, if you don't have it matched like that, it drives it crazy. And it sometimes cuts the gain level down all by itself, or it will raise it up all by itself, trying to make the difference. And there's nothing stable there. So adding the ability to go and maximize your impedance match is a very good thing. At least I think so, because that's what I'm doing now. I can't be wrong. Go ahead, Norm.
Okay, Steve, you made mention of using a 20 dB pad. After one day, I immediately hit the negative 10 dB pad on this microphone. It's that sensitive. And it was very difficult to try to micro adjust my input. So it was much easier just hitting the 10 dB pad on the microphone itself. And if you're trying to analyze my voice, everyone on this frequency has always heard me say, movie star quality sound. And you know what? Again, on this hobby, you're trying to sound as good as you can. Now, I was telling NP2G earlier, I had people in Oregon, Brazil, and Europe that said my audio was clean, very easy to understand. And perhaps maybe I might have to tweak and peak, but Steve, it's all in the ears of your audience. K1GMMAC3GD.
KB2UKA.
Hey, what's going on, Douglas? I've been watching your videos, dude. Every morning I get up and I'm like, geez, I wonder if Doug's got a new video up. Yeah, good to hear you, man. Hope all is well. And, yeah, Norm, again, it's so subjective, but it still comes down to copyability. I don't care what any freaking buddy says. What good is great audio if you can't copy it in QSB, right? There's a time and a place for everything. So, yeah, your audio is just very smooth, very clean. It sounds, in my mind, if I were to project, it sounds exactly the way it probably would sound if we were sitting face to face with you. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's like I look at audio as a window, as a window into someone's personality and soul. I know I'm going deep. I'm getting very fluffy, and they call it voodoo for a reason. That's the way I look at it. It's one of those things where when you hear someone, it should, regardless of how it sounds, it should give you an idea. Okay, let me put it this way. Let me throw this question out there, right? So every one of you guys, including you, Doug, let's go through this whole situation, right? When you hear someone on the radio, do you imagine what that person is really like in real life? Because most of us will never meet each other face to face as long as we live. We just hear each other on the radio. So I always think that to myself. I think, geez, I wonder what this person really sounds like in real life. Now I can tell you, excuse me, my friend Jerry, W1JWC, I've talked to him on the phone before. He doesn't sound anything like he sounds on the radio on the phone. Now, granted, you're talking a cell phone, right? But you ever wonder that when you meet someone face to face and you go, yep, that's, after hearing them on the radio, you meet them face to face, you go, yep, that's exactly the way they sound. I often wonder how often that's true. I'll put it back to you, Norm, first, then bring Doug in and over to Eddie BM and then Ed. Or do whatever you want, K1GMM. Go ahead, Norm.
Wait a minute now. I got it. I just saw YouTube with Chameleon. She said put a Brazilian, and then AOC is a Brazilian.
I guess I'll pick it up. KB2UK. Let me just make sure I have it. So I was in the process of assembling a rack stand, and I was listening to your stream, Steve, and there were two things that made me want to jump down here. But the rack stand's fully assembled now. The first was saggy asses. I know, I'm already noticing it. And then the second one was that you went back to all the analog rack gear, and I did the same. You are correct. There's just something about it that, and I'm still tweaking it over here. I've been back on it about 3 days. There's something about it that cannot be emulated, no matter how hard I tried with the digital stuff. But yes, Steve, obviously you know what I look like. I know what you look like from YouTube, but I always picture what the people look like, what they sound like, and I've spoken to numerous guys on the phone, and I'd say half the time it sounds like them, half the time it doesn't. The way you tweak your audio definitely, I think, has something to do with your subconscious persona. I'm going to try to pass it over to Norm, see if he made his way back. Norm, good evening. KB2UK. Go ahead, Norm.
Well, hello, Doug. Yes, I hate to tell you, and I don't want to give TMI, but I was handling myself. A little offload. Hey, fellas, it's a couple cold 807s. It don't stay in you that long. Steve, Doug, it is kind of perceptive where you listen to somebody's voice and you say, what does this person look like? Well, if you looked at my QRZ page, I have my wife and I sitting at an outdoor cafe in Worcester, Massachusetts about 15 years ago, and that's what I look like. But you'll never enjoy life until you sit down and have a couple beers with me like NP2G has, and boy, some of the stories that are told, you might wet yourself laughing so hard. AC3 GD to whoever gets it.
Go ahead, Eddie. Take it.
Okay, very
Go ahead, Ed.
Good evening, dear brother Doug. How are you doing this evening? KB1B.
What's up, Isaac? Man, and Steve is 100% correct. You're sounding beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. We were supposed to have severe thunderstorms, but they went just a little bit east of me, and I see the lightning now is 30 miles away. So I wasn't planning on coming on here all night. So I figured let me assemble the rack, and that'll be what I do. But you guys sounded like you were having way too much fun. How you doing, Eddie?
I'm doing good. I just decided to come in here and put the radio on, and there was some activities here, so I stayed on there, and then all of a sudden the band opened up, and then now we got some real activities with some nice audio. So I'm just sitting back and listening with my headphones on and enjoying real audios. There you go.
Yeah, and Steve, I'll pass it to you next. Man, with that audio processing you're doing on the receive, it it sounds, the fidelity is the same as if you weren't doing it. Now, I was listening to you on speakerphone while I was screwing this thing together. I know I've heard you say that it adds like a little blanket, maybe on the high end, maybe a tiny, tiny bit. It's really hard to notice. It really, what you're doing with that receive is better than any NR2. Go ahead.
Oh, you talking to me, Doug?
Oh, yeah. I was talking about your receive system, how it sounds on YouTube. It sounds amazing.
Oh. People do not get it, Doug. They just don't get it. This system is freaking ridiculous. It is ridiculous. It's better than, it smokes Thetis. I don't care what anybody says. Absolutely humiliates anything on the planet. I've never heard anything like it. I've actually jumped to Supertone. So I went ahead and paid for this. This is an AI noise reduction system, artifact free. The beautiful thing about this system is that I use hard limiting, right? So a signal that's, let's say, an S7, S8, S9 is the same level as a signal that's 20 over or 30 over. So you don't have to ride the RF gain or the AGCT or anything. It smashes the hot signals, but it doesn't affect the way it sounds. It's freaking insane. I don't get it. I don't know why people don't use it. It's artifact free, right? You can do it free. You can use the free side, like the older stuff that I've been using. But this plugin was like $100, and it's worth every penny. I have it smashed down pretty tight right now. Doesn't need to be that tight, but it doesn't affect the top end, like you said. Yeah, it's really shocking. It's like it's like you guys are sitting in the room with me, no noise, no hiss, very, very little static crashing, almost nothing. I can hear a tick here every once in a while, but it's not like, makes you jump out of your freaking chair. You know what I mean? How you get this ripping static crashing sound, you go, good God. You almost jump out of your freaking chair, hair stands up on the back of your neck, and a bead of sweat rolls down your freaking forehead. No, never happens with this. It's like you guys are sitting here face to face with me in a padded cell. The only drawback is the latency. There's just a hint of latency. I would say it's probably 20 to 30 milliseconds of latency, which to be honest, and let's be fair, in a contest environment, stuff like that, it could be a little bit of a problem. So you have to anticipate, like I've gotten so used to it. So if somebody, let's say you're calling CQ, right? KB2 UKA, CQ contest, KB2 UKA. Boom. The minute I hear the A, I punch it. And I get right through. So it's probably, it's like 20, 30 milliseconds, something like that, Doug. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you're picking up that not even a half a second of latency on the receive, where we're normally used to dealing with latency on the transmit when we were doing all the virtual
yes,
and
Jose,
the DOS
everything's
stuff.
On my
Very
ESSB
good. Well,
page.
you're sounding great as usual. I've got so much crap here. It's all tube-based now. I've just been accumulating it over the last 5 years, and I just finally put it all back in line. I'm happy. I still have to tweak a little bit more, but I'm very, very happy. All right, let me drop it here. Norm, why don't you pick it up? My son just walked in the room. I got to see what he wants, but I am listening. KB2 UKA.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get going, guys. Have a good one. NP2G.
See you, Ed. Have a good evening.
Bye-bye, Ed. Everyone be here. Yes, Steve, man, I'm gonna go in soon, and then I'm gonna listen to the audio. There you go.
Yeah, go in and check it out, dude. I think you're gonna be really happy. You've really got some things worked out there, Ed. Eddie, I'm so happy because I know you had some weird stuff going on off and on, but it sounds really, really great. Do you want my honest opinion? Do you want me to be honest with you? Give you an idea?
Yeah, go ahead.
Again, take it for what it's worth. Okay, if you want to head down, you want to go deeper into the rabbit hole, play with this. You've got the top end. It's stellar. It sounds great. I'm thinking you need a little bada boom. You need a little boom boom in the bottom end, but you don't want it muddy and you don't want it too low, right? Because I know you've had an issue with, I remember a while back you had actually, it sounded like an AM carrier, like a 20 hertz carrier going. Remember that? This was like, I don't know, last year sometime? last year sometime. Start playing with the low end frequencies. Let's say 40 hertz is pretty low, dude. That's pretty low. You got to be careful once you get down around 30, 40 hertz. I would start like 40, 60 hertz, 70 hertz, but make sure the Q is very, very sharp on the EQ when you're playing with that low end. You cannot run a broad Q. In other words, let's say you want to boost a little bit of that guttural bottom end, that voodoo bottom end, right? Let's say if you're running a graphical EQ or a parametric EQ with the Q on it fairly broad, when you affect that, let's say 60 hertz, right? It's not going to just increase. If you bring that up, it's not going to just increase the 60 hertz. It's going to increase frequencies on the upper side and the lower side of that. So that's what I'm saying. You probably already know this, but I'll give you a direction to go just to get a little bit of that bottom boom going. You got some great bottom end and awesome top end, but if you were going to, because I know you're in the rabbit hole, so I'm going to throw this at you. I don't know what you have at your disposal, what kind of equipment you have, but if you could put like, let's say, I don't know, 50 hertz, anywhere from 40 to 60 hertz in there with a very sharp Q. Watch out for 250 all the way down to about, let's say, 125 hertz. 125 hertz to 106 to 250 hertz. That's the mud. So if you have, you may have to put a very sharp reduction in a series of frequencies. Like I have the rack, which I don't have the capacity to do that. So what I do is I use the processing in the sun to apply. So I'll just give you an option, something here just to think about. Hold on. So in the filter sections, right now I have a low frequency roll off at 30 hertz and a high frequency roll off at 4100 hertz. Now they are not steep skirts. They're gradual skirts, right? And the Q, I have a roll off at 40 hertz. I'm passing more than that with the rack, but see, it's too much. So I have a big boost at 500 hertz. Actually, it's not big. 3 dB boost with a very sharp Q. 500 hertz. 2 kilohertz is flat. 1.6 kilohertz, I have a 2 dB boost at a very high Q, very sharp. In other words, it's not affecting frequencies around it. And I have a 3 kilohertz, 3.6 kilohertz, and 4 kilohertz to get my top end up there, right? And those are very sharp. Very sharp. The bandwidth is 30, 30, and 30 on those. And 4 kilohertz. A 4 dB boost at 4 kilohertz, 3.6, 4 dB, 3 kilohertz, 3 dB, 2 kilohertz flat, 1.6 is 2 dB boost. The Q on the 1.6 is not quite as extreme. It's a 22.4. And then a very, very mild compression, 1.2 to 1. I never run more than that on the Voodoo audio, on the ESSB type stuff, because I can hear it. I can hear it kind of degrade. So something to think about. You can go back in and watch that video, and you can see it because I had it on the screen. Just an idea. You do what you want. But yeah, watch out for that, like 125 to 250 hertz. That's the mud monster. To get that bottom end, but don't go too low. You get down sub 40 hertz, the gloves come off, and you may end up with like a big mess. But see if you can play with a Q on those. KB1BEM, K1GM.
Oh, yeah, QSL. All right, no problem. No problem. All right, we see what happens. We check things out and see what happens. All right, K1GMM, KB1BEM. I don't know if Doug is back, but I'll turn it back to you and then see if Doug is back. There you go.
Yeah, go ahead, Doug. I talked enough.
I was taking notes. I only missed the first 30 seconds of it. Steve, I went nuts. I went and found some old vintage gear that the voodoo guys used to use. I found in really cheap
it's insane,
from a
Jose.
girl in Nashville.
Smokes the
and I've been searching for it for 6 months, and I found it 2 weeks ago. An HHB Classic 70. So it's a tube parametric EQ. And it gets here, and it works great, and it sounds great, but the audio starts cutting in and out. So she had told me the pots were dirty. So I cleaned the pots, and nothing's changing. And then I'm noticing that the case is getting really, really hot. So I emailed WZ5Q, Mike. And long story short, he said they're known to have a failure in the toroid in the transformer. So I'm sending it to him. He's going to update some of the op amps and fix the transformer issue. But right now I'm using an old DBX graphic EQ that I got for $30 at Sam Ash when they were going out of business.
Perfect.
I don't know what first of all, the Q's not adjustable. There's only whatever the set Q is, and I haven't looked at the specs. I haven't Googled it, so I don't even know what the damn Q is. This whole thing's going to change. But yeah, I'm always taking notes from you, Steve. Go ahead.
Oh my God! Don't do that, dude. It'll mess your brain all up. But you're 20 to 25 over. Hey, quick question before we progress on. Is there too much reverb on this? I don't know how strong I am to you. I'm not running that much really power. But you're really strong in here, dude. You're 20, 25 over, pushing 30 over at times. There is a little bit of QSB. Is there too much? Because I can dial it back. I haven't checked it, but I just looked over and I went, ooh. I looked at the number. It's pretty high. Over.
You are peaking 30 over as well, and to my ear, I do not think it's too much. It's subtle enough. It's I don't know how you have it EQ'd, but it's not on your low end. It's in the upper mids to the high end. It sounds good.
Okay. It's not. Does it sound like a artifact, or does it sound natural?
It sounds natural. It's right. Remember that saying you said a few years ago, if you're ripping construction paper, right? That's kind of like that upper mid resonance that we want for high fidelity. It's right on that, and it doesn't sound like an artifact to me.
Okay. The only reason I do that at this point is to increase the copyability, like we were talking about earlier in QSB. Somebody comes in and they've got an S9 plus 10 of static crashing, and I'm an S9. I want to make sure there's enough top end there that they can understand what I'm saying. That's it could be better, I'm sure, right? Because it's not Voodoo, dude. Voodoo doesn't have a lot of that upper mid-range. It's very silky on the top, and it's got bodacious bottom. But that's rough. As we all know, you get a lot of static crashing, and you get a marginal signal. That's a rough copy. Over.
Oh, yeah. And I don't have anything built for DX or anything right now because I just ripped everything out. I took all the virtual stuff out. So, when you're running the rack gear, it's a real pain in the ass to adjust the EQ for 3K or 2.9 or whatever you're doing, or 6K for that matter. So I end up doing what you're doing now. If I'm going to build a 6K, I'm probably not going to adjust too much on the rack. You go into your SDR settings and kind of do touch-up EQ in there to get it to a profile that's suitable at that bandwidth. But man, I'm at the point now, no matter what I do at 4K, one profile, it'll have more low end, one will be crisper, one will be more intelligible, one will be muddier a little bit, but they all sound pretty damn similar. I think, you want that real voodoo stuff. I think we have to start going 6K. You got to go down to 3630 and play there. I can't. I'm studying for the extras, so I can. But I think that's the next step.
Yeah, let me keep this brief. Such a rabbit hole, Doug, isn't it? See, that's the thing. Everything you do sounds good to your ear, and it sounds good to everybody else, but it never ends. That's why pretty much I went through the corrective EQ in the processor on the rig, and listened to it through an SDR. I went, okay, let's stop right here and let's just go with this. It is so tempting for us OCD folks. Anybody who plays with this stuff is OCD. I don't care what you say, dude. You got a little bit of OCD going because you can't leave it alone. You can't stop, but at some point, and I've struggled to get to that point where I'm like, let it go, dude. Let it go. But see, that's not really in the spirit. There's a difference between the spirit of the pursuit of really dynamite audio, dude. Chris, I'll tell you, you always sound good. You always sound great. I can hear the changes. I hear the subtleties. I'm like, oh, he's tweaking. But Chris, what's his call? Good God. See, as far as I know, I haven't heard him change his audio in a while. That freaking guy. I mean, he blows the freaking speakers off the wall in here. He's got it going, man. But see, that's to me. That's my ears. I hear that and I go, oh yeah, that's money. That's money, baby. But, I want to be like Chris. That's, you know what I mean? It's fun, but at some point it comes down to communication. And that's the point I've gotten to where I just want it. I want to be able to communicate. I want it to sound good, but I want that communication to be there. It's hard for me to describe. I think you know where I'm going, but it's a very hard place to settle into. It's like a very niche slot that you need to find, and it's so subjective and it's so personal, right? It's a very personal thing. It's subjective, and it's fascinating to me. It really is. That's the reason why I do this, Doug. You probably heard me say this before. To figure out how far you can push a ham radio transceiver. Now, AM is freaking cool, dude. I don't know if you played with any AM. I've been playing some AM over the past, few weeks. AM is interesting. So I approach that a totally different way. I'll let you comment on that. That's a whole different animal. Go ahead, Norm, if you're there. K1GMM.
Hold on real quick. These guys are fired up on 55. Like they can't hear us. Unbelievable. Sorry. Go ahead, Norm.
We turned it to the Doug.
Yeah, I can see him in there.
You turned it to me there, Doug?
Steve turned it to Norm. I turned it back to him because I just wanted to say these guys fired up on 55. They're like S9 to me, so they hear us. But go ahead, Isaac. Take it.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, I had on the headphones for quite some time, so they hurt in my ears. So what I did, I went in the menu and dropped the monitor down because I wanted to be feeding back on these bookshelf speakers, man. But you're shaking my bookshelf speakers over here. You're shaking my bookshelf speakers there.
Yeah, man. Well, that's it. So let me just comment on a couple of things Steve said. First of all, Steve, I talk about this hobby to all my buddies at work, okay? And I got there's a musician there who's kind of none of them he's probably the only one who's half interested in anything I'm saying. And he said something to me probably 2 years ago. And he said, you know what I like about your hobby? Because I come in and I play my audio for this guy, okay? And I'm like timbre of that. Oh, that sounds good.
Gotcha.
You know what I like about this hobby, Doug? He goes, there's no end game. Now, this is the guy who's not in Hammer Theo.
No, that's right.
He goes, there's no end game, okay? There's, you're not bowling where you finally bowl a perfect game of 300. You finally bowl a perfect score. There's no end game, because if you're anything like me, and I know what you're talking about, having that punchy communication frequencies in your profile, but you want it to still be smooth. And that's where it becomes a struggle, because if it's punching enough that it's cutting through, how do you keep it smooth where if you're in a rag chew like this, it doesn't start to cause fatigue to the listener? And man, it's just but you know what? It keeps me in the hobby, right? I work, I take care of my family, and I do this. This is my entertainment. This is my therapy to come down here and to tweak it. And yeah, a lot of times it causes frustration, but I don't think I'd have it any other way, right? Tomorrow or Wednesday, my project's going to be taking all this rack gear on this little table here and putting it inside the rack without turning any of the knobs. That'll be the hobby on Wednesday. How do I move rack gear and not remove any of the knobs so I don't have to re-EQ? Go
ahead. Good luck. See, that's what I liked about the DAW. Every time I lit it up, it was the same. It was there. You know what I mean? It's all virtual. It's all saved. But how tempting is... See, that's the thing about... I've said this before. You've probably heard me say this. There's something about physical gear, rack gear. It's tactile. See, I've been... Not that I'm really nothing special, but I've been in this arena since I was 17 years old. I've actually been a drummer longer than that. But I toured, in 1983, all across North America, Canada, and Alaska with a vocal and orchestra group as a sound technician. And if you look at my history going all the way back to into late 70s, early 80s, all the way till now, everything has been analog. It's including the studio work. I ran a commercial studio here for 15 years. And I'm not saying that to toot my own, that, dude. I don't care about that. This was just a basement studio. I had some great bands. I had a great experience, a super fun time. Didn't make a lot of money, but had a great time doing it. But everything was all analog. I had the hardest time going virtual because we went to hard disk recording eventually. We did. And I freaking hated it, dude. And I still hate it to this day. I won't do it. I still have 2 Alesis ADATs here from the old studio. We're talking back in the early 90s, for crying out loud, mid-90s. I refuse to sell them because I still think I'll use them again. They're old 16-bit pieces of crap. And I love the old tactile. I need to get my hands on the knobs and the buttons. I hate this virtual crap, Doug. I'm telling you, I freaking hate it with a passion. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing, which is possible. I just can't seem to get the same sound with the virtual stuff that I can with the analog gear. With very basic, cheap analog gear, you can work wonders with this crap. Anyways, back to you for a quick comment. I think Norm's back, and back to Eddie, K1GMM.
Hold on. I'm just going to say that somebody taught me a couple of months ago. I was sending him recordings, and I'd say, tell me which one is the DAW and tell me which one is the rack. And he got it right every time, and taught me how to hear the digital. And now that I can hear it, I don't want it on my audio. I'm not even going into the sound card anymore, Steve. Okay, I have a Behringer rep mixer. It's a cheap thing. It's like $90. It's a split. My audio goes into the line in the back of the Anon, my transmit audio, and then I have it splitting at the splitter, and then I put it into audio interface for OBS. Go ahead, Norm.
Okay. Yeah, it's a funny thing. I think there is so much room for digital. Let's not forget analog. Now, I have to quickly add, because of the simplicity of the analog, that's the route that I went. If I had good audio before, and I went with this analog, step up, maybe 10 steps up, however you want to look at it. I'm happy with it because you guys can hear me, and there is intelligibility. There is QSL to the spoken word. And that's important because you can make your sound as good as you want, but if nobody can hear you or understand you, therein lies the problem. AC3GD, I forget who is still in here. Is NP2G still in here? Is KB1BEM still in here?
I'm here, but I'm gonna run. I'm gonna go do something for Donna. So I'm here, still in here. But no, you're nice and strong there now, man. Nice and strong, okay?
Yes. Everybody's signal is over S9. I love it. We're getting to that point in the year, and in another 6 weeks, beautiful. Go ahead, Eddie.
Okay, very fine. So, yeah, I'm going to set some cheese for now. Hey, K1GMM, nice hearing you this evening, there, Steve, and the superstation out there in the island. Hey, Doug, nice hearing you. Norm, it's a pleasure, man. And you got everything's working nice there, Norm. So I'm going to go 72. So, Norm, you take it real quick and turn it around, and then I'm going to go. HC3GD, KB1BEM.
Okay, 7-3, Eddie. Ed, NP2G, are you still on frequency?
No, he's gone.
Guys, I'm sorry. I got to hop. My daughter lost something. She's very upset about it. I told her I'd help her. Steve, really good to hear you, man. And Eddie, Norm, everybody else, have a great night. KB2 UKA.
Always fun, Doug. Thanks for jumping in. K1GMM. We'll see you.
Hey, 7-3, Doug, AC3TD.
All right, good night. KB1BEM.
Yep, I got the H&R stomping stuff pounding on the floor about a half hour ago. My supper's ready. It's been sitting there for a half hour. I'm going to duck out. Leave you with it, Norm. Maybe others will jump in. I'll be back down in a little while. See what's going on. All good signals. Holy crap. 20 over. A lot of you guys. There is some QSB anywhere from 15 to 25 over, just pounding. Anyways, we'll see you guys in a bit if you come back. If not, have a great evening and a pleasure as always. K1GMM, Southwest Vermont, Steve.
Hey, 7-3, Steve. I'm glad I kept in touch with you. You're one of the fellas. It's a lot of fun to, trust me. When you get a couple of us together, it's entertainment. So 7-3, K1GMM, AC3GD.
Oh, yeah, you're the patriarch here, Norm. I don't know if you realize that, but you are. So, yeah, I do appreciate you reaching out to me. And it's nice. It's nice to hear from old friends and stuff like that. So I do appreciate it. Thank you. We'll see you later. I'll try not to be a stranger, okay? We are coming into fall. I'll be on the radio a lot more. It's insanely busy. I'm just flat out, but I will try and make some time because it's always fun chatting with you guys. We'll see you soon. K1GMM.
Yeah, I'm only trying to keep up with my big brother, KF2GG. Richie, I'm telling you, it's always a hoot. Trust me.
Yeah, really quick. Have you talked to Richie recently? How's he doing?
He's doing super. N2WH, N1LIG,
yeah, it's a stretch from here.
N2LIG, Jerry. Myself and Richie had a nice dinner at Maggie's Town Tavern 2 weekends ago. I traveled, took me 4 hours to get home from New Jersey, but it was well worth it. We had a wonderful time.
Oh, that's nice, man. That's great. That's great. Well, if you run into Richie, if you remember, if you don't worry about it. Send him my regards. I don't know why. Yeah, I got all kinds of fluctuations going on, dude. I think I got a problem with the rack. I don't care. I don't care. Anyways, I'm just going to leave it alone. If somebody says I'm distorted and all screwed up, then I'll deal with it. But other than that, I'm running with it. We'll see you later. Have a great evening. K1GMM.
Hey, 7-3, Steve. AC3 GD, I will listen.
All righty, you freaks. I am... Oops, sorry about that. I hit the key by accident. K1GM, I'm clear. Duh. I hit the key by accident. Oh, my God.
Tomorrow.
Too funny. Oh, my God. I was talking to the guys on the stream, and I went ahead and punched the key on the radio. That's funny. Anyways, we'll see you guys later. Have a good evening. Freaking farting around on 75 meters. And hey, I wanted to show you guys this. Check this out. Let me get over to the before I left, which will explain a whole lot regarding the title of this live. See this? See this? That is my gel pad. That's my gel pad from my bony ass. Because my ass is all bony. I'm old. I got saggy old man ass. My balls are starting to sag too. But, not really. The chair's all broken down, so I can't, I have no meat on my ass, and it's like sitting on a piece of plywood. So, yeah, this gel pad, highly recommended. If you have old man ass, and it hurts to sit in your, what used to be comfy chair, gel pad will solve that issue. 7